Hello, and welcome to Godly Play. It's good to see you again, to be back together after a little break in July. So we have to catch up with the calendar, and we're in the green and growing days after Pentecost. So there's Pentecost. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks after Pentecost. So here we are, just starting August, in the beginning of this part of the green and growing Sundays in our church calendar. So glad to see you here. So time to get ready for Godly Play. Come and join the circle. Get your body ready, your eyes, your ears, and your heart. There was once someone who said such wonderful things and did such amazing things that people began to follow him. And as they followed him, they wondered who he was. And they couldn't help themselves. They just had to ask. And one of the times when they asked, he said, "I am the light." Let's enjoy the light. I see the love of God in you, the light of Christ comes shining through, and I am blessed to be with you, O holy child of God. But this light didn't stay in just that one place and in that one time, because he changed the light. So it can be in all places and in all times. Watch as I change the light. You can see it going up, filling the room, reaching out to where you are in your part of the circle, so that everywhere we are in Godly Play today, this light will be with us. And when we leave this place, the light will go with us too. So, are you ready for a story? Now, here's our story for today. Here's how you can tell the story. There's the story card. And the story this week is taken from the Old Testament, in the beginning parts of the Old Testament, in the book of Ruth. So if you'd like to check out this story, that's where you'll find it. The Old Testament in the book of Ruth. This is a river, very windy and twisty. Ooh, really twisty. I think we're ready now. The people of God, who were wandering in the wilderness for 40 years, crossed the Jordan River into the Promised Land. And they filled the land. some of them, began to live in the town of Bethlehem. A long time passed, and then it was the time when the judges ruled the land of Israel. And there was a family, Naomi, her husband Elimelech, and their 2 children, who lived in Bethlehem. But in this time, the rains did not come, and the grain and the wheat and the barley could not grow. And many people from the land of Israel decided to cross back over the Jordan River to the land of Moab, where the rains had come and where there was lots of grain. And one of these families was the family of Naomi and Elimelech and their 2 sons. They crossed over the Jordan River and began to live together in the land of Moab, where there was much to eat. Some time passed, and sadly, Elimelech died. And now Naomi was alone with her 2 sons. The sons grew, and when they were grown, they found wives among the people of Moab. Orpah and Ruth. Time passed, and then, very sadly, Naomi's sons both died. And Naomi was left alone with Ruth and Orpah. Some time passed, and Naomi decided that she would go back across the Jordan River to her home in Bethlehem, because she had heard that the rains had come back and that there was grain again in the land. So she set off towards Israel. As they came close to the Jordan River, Naomi said to Orpah and Ruth, "Go back to your homes, to your mothers and fathers, where your family is." Orpah left and went to live with her mother. But Ruth said, "No, where you go, I will go. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God." So Naomi and Ruth traveled together back across the Jordan River to Bethlehem, where Naomi found a small place to live. It was the time of the barley harvest, and so Ruth went into the fields to gather grain, as was the custom in that part of the world at that time. After the harvesters had gone forward, then others could go behind and pick up the grain that had been left behind and bring it back to their homes. This Ruth was doing so that she could feed Naomi and herself. Now it came that one day she was in the field of a man called Boaz, who was a kinsman of Naomi. And Boaz noticed Ruth in the fields, how hard she worked, and how she cared for Naomi. And after some time, Boaz married Ruth. And they had a son, Obed. Now Ruth was a mother, and Naomi was a grandmother, and she loved to play with the little baby on her lap. Well, Obed grew, and he had a son, Jesse. And Jesse had many sons, one of whom was David, who became the great King David, king over all Israel. And David was Ruth's great grandson. Well, I wonder what part of this story you like the best. I wonder. Is it about crossing over and back? Maybe it's about grain and harvest. Or children and grandchildren. I don't know what your favorite would be. So whoever's with you in the circle, be sure to talk about that with them. And I wonder what part of this story you think is most important. Bethlehem or Jordan or the Boaz or Naomi and David. I wonder what you think. I wonder where you are in this story and what part of this story is about you. I wonder for me if it's about Ruth. If that's where I am in the story. I wonder where you are. What part of this story is about you? And finally, take a moment to tell the people that you're with if there's any part of this story we can leave out and still have all the story that we need. What about this? Take away the grain. What do you think? Oh, how about this? Or maybe this. Or what if I remove this piece? I wonder what you're thinking, what you're saying. Well, this is the story of Ruth. And in this story we have Orpah, one of the daughter-in-laws of Naomi. And we have King David. And his father Jesse. And his father Obed. And we have the grain. And the city of Bethlehem, the city of David, and the wiggly Jordan River. And Naomi, and Ruth, and Boaz. Now you know the story of Ruth. Well, it was great to have you in the circle today. And this is the time for the blessing, and I wanted to thank you all for being here with us today in this month of August, in this green and growing time of the calendar of the church year, and to offer this blessing to you. The Lord bless you and watch over you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord look kindly on you and give you peace. Well, I hope you have a wonderful week and hope to see you next week. Bye.